Hi brand talkers, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be distinguishing between professional and expert. How you can also move from just being a professional to becoming an expert. Don't be confused. These two words are used interchangeably, but they mean two different things. They are talking about two different individuals, but because of the way the workplace is done today, most professionals assume that they are experts, but most experts don't even know that they are. If you are in any of the categories, don't worry, you can become better. So who needs to become better? The person on the aspect of professional needs to transition into being an expert. The person that is an expert needs to start knowing himself and projecting himself more in front of camera and start talking to people and writing and publishing to keep telling people about who he is and who he's not. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining how to do these transitions. But before then, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and share this video with someone who needs to get this information. And I'm going to take you through this process right now. A professional is someone that is actively engaged in a specific work as a means of livelihood. For you to become a professional, you need to be certified. You need to have attended school. You need to have a certain training, but that requires you to be in that industry. Take, for instance, a lawyer. Take, for instance, a medical doctor or a teacher. For you to become a teacher in an institution, somebody needs to vet you, give you certification over a long period of time to say, okay, you are qualified. And there are certain things you don't do because you have to follow a certain code of conduct to be a professional. Are you a professional? Don't worry. There's nothing wrong with you. You can also transit. Let's talk about an expert. While a professional is someone who adheres to certain instructions, code of conduct, we also have an expert. An expert is someone who has deep understanding of a particular field or an industry. Now, you can become a professional after going to school and getting a job, but you can't become an expert if you don't do the things we're going to outline in this video. An expert is attributed to be an authority. Yes, they are the authorities in the space because they have picked a particular aspect of life and they've narrowed down to study this, to perfect it, to work on it consistently with certain specific results. Take, for instance, you have two medical doctors. One is a professional, one is an expert. For the professional, he left school and he's working in the hospital, helping people fix their health. He has been doing that for the past 5-10 years now. And he is always coming to the office, to the hospital, deliver his work, go home, take vacation, and that's it. But we have an expert who said, I'm a brain surgeon. This is the only thing I know how to do. This is what I'm good at. I've been working on this aspect for the past 5 to 10 years of my life. And I've created this result and this result and this result. We also have another example. Take a chef in a hotel and someone who bakes cake that is not in a hotel or in a restaurant. So this person is an expert because he has been baking cake for quite a while now, but he knows the nitty-gritty of baking cake. He is not baking any other thing apart from cake. He has been doing this for quite a long time and people like his recipe and the outcome of his cake. And that's the only thing he does. You also have a chef who is working in a restaurant. This chef is busy baking cake, cleaning kitchen, arranging food, doing all sorts of work from recipe to making sure that other food that they're cooking in the restaurant is coming out fine. This person is a professional who is doing this in a hotel or in a restaurant. While this other person, he is an expert because he does his own thing the way he wants and he specializes on one aspect of the business, baking cake. To even take it further, most cake bakers say, I am good in chocolate cake alone. And they go all in, studying, developing, and becoming better in that tiny niche. So while this other person is a professional, earning his living, doing everything they need to do to maintain their job, this other person is changing the story and the narrative about their industry and about the things they love to do. For this person who is a professional, he needs to attend a certification course or program or attend a school to get his degree. But this other person doesn't need to do either of that. Yes, he can go for a training at some point in his life or keep going for upgrade trainings. But those things don't limit him because he doesn't need anyone to hire him. All he needs to do is to perfect his craft and keep being visible in front of those that need him and his services. Take, for instance, someone who is good in drawing. He's not a professional artist, but he is someone that is just passionate about drawing and has done so many good works that people are even paying for. While drawing is not his thing in the sense of a career or a work or a profession, he is just doing it because it's something that comes natural to him. Probably he must have been trained or just talented in that space, but he's doing it on daily or weekly basis and people are getting wowed by his work. Now let's talk about the 5 things that differentiate someone, which is something I want you to pay attention to. A professional is defined by their role and adherence to standard within a recognized occupation, while an expert is defined by their depth of knowledge or skill in a specific area. Let me give you an instance. A professional doctor. A doctor is a professional because they have job taking care of health and must follow certain rules and standard that allows doctors to flow. I know you understand this. Doctors are designed to do one thing, take care of people's health and do it in a certain way. You must follow these laid down rules or code of conduct. There's nothing bad in that. But let's think of an expert on that scope. Expert. A doctor might also be an expert in brain surgery because they know a lot about it and they've done many successful surgeries. But someone can be an expert in something like playing a piano, even if that's not their job. So even if that's not their job, remember this, you can be so good in playing piano, but it's not your job. So you're an expert, not a professional. The same with doctor. A doctor can just be a random doctor, which is a professional, but an expert doctor specializes on a specific niche or aspect of the profession. Let's talk about context. A professional can become expert, but not all experts are professionals. For example, someone can be an expert in gardening without being a professional horticulturist. Conversely, a lawyer is a professional, and if they have exceptional knowledge in specific area of the law, they are also considered an expert. I love this. You can focus on a niche that you love that comes natural to you. Let me give you an instance. If you have 2 lawyers, one is just in the firm, talking about anything that the firm is interested in. The other person is so specific that they want to solve legal issues in respect to commercial real estate. So if you have a case in the firm, they will refer to this person rather than this person. That's when it has to do with context. Let's talk about recognition. Professional status often requires formal qualification and recognition from a governing body, while expertise is more about the level of mastery in a subject which can be self-acquired. Do you understand this? While a professional needs government to approve what they're doing, experts can just acquire their skill over time and master it. So we look at professionals as people that are licensed to do something, while we look at experts as people that have mastered something. Example, imagine someone that wants to be a doctor. To be recognized as a professional doctor, they need to go to medical school, pass exams, and get a license from a medical body. This is the formal qualification and recognition from a governing body. Now, think of someone who loves cooking and has spent years practicing and learning on their own. They might become an expert chef because they are really good at cooking, even if they have never gone to culinary school or received a formal certificate. Their expertise comes from experience, not from formal qualification. So listen to this. You can become an expert in anything that you put your mind in. You narrow down, you become so good and competitive that people will always come to you for that result. But make sure that it is specific. Don't go too broad. I know in your industry you are good. You've worked for like 5 years or 10 years in this particular niche as a doctor, lawyer, or a bank, or a real estate dealer. But now I want you to go all into an aspect of your profession. Start talking about it. Start researching. By teaching, publishing, analyzing, and giving predictions, people will attribute expertise to what you're doing, not just 20 years or 30 years of being in an industry. So let's talk about focus. This is another aspect that differentiates a professional from an expert. Experts often have a deep focus on a particular subject or skill. I just mentioned this to you. While professionals may have a broader range of responsibility within their field. Is this clear? Let me give you an instance. Experts. Imagine someone who is really, really good at baking cake, that they are so good. They know everything about baking a professional cake. This is what they've been doing probably for the longest time you can imagine. They are so good. But then there is a professional, someone who is in the restaurant, who bakes cake and also do other things in the work. They cook food, they do other sort of things. They bake general cake. But for this expert, he or she is focusing on an aspect of cake baking, maybe chocolate cake or just cake alone. But a professional is making sure that there is recipe, there is food, there's other things that someone needs to eat when they enter the restaurant, why they can as well bake cake. They can be baking cake on this hand and be doing something else on this other hand. While for an expert, baking cake is the only thing they know how to do, and that's what they are all in doing in their business. Application. Experts may use their knowledge for academic research, consulting, or teaching, while professionals apply their skills in more practical or hand-on manner. Very important. Experts are always researching, teaching, exploring how new something could be done, while from professionals, they are just doing what has been said to be done. Yes, they are also good in what they're doing, but they have to follow a particular rules. Let me give you an instance. For an expert, a scientist who has studied plants for many years might use their knowledge to conduct research on new plant species or teach about plant biology at a university. Do you understand that? This person has been studying this and they're coming out in a university to teach this, explain how this works, and then get more people to understand it. Now let's talk about professional. A professional, a gardener uses practical skills to plant and care for a garden, applying their knowledge to make sure that the plants grow well and look beautiful. That's the work of a professional. They need this result. They've been told produce this result. That's why they're going all in. But for an expert, it can take 10 years, it can take 5 years studying and teaching and exploring other things. In essence, an expert is someone who knows a lot about a particular subject, while a professional is someone who uses their knowledge, skills in a specific occupation. You can become an expert without certification. The only thing you need is to put in the time and effort to produce results that is desired by your consumers. Work and practice. So let's talk about 7 ways you can transit seamlessly from being a professional to an expert. The first thing is specializing. I won't emphasize this enough. Picking a niche is the only way you can start this journey, because you can't know everything, and every industry is expanding. If you don't know, with AI, it's going to become more challenging to do a lot of things as a human being. Let's take, for instance, in my own case, I used to be a photographer. I love taking pictures. I love seeing people appear professionally on their profile. That's why I run a company called campiq.media. At some point, I needed to transit. This is something I studied in school, theater arts, and we always talk about content creations. Now, how do I do this? I can't just be a journalist. I can't be filming movie, filming advertisements, and also filming professionals or running podcasts for them. I had to go all in on one niche. How can I help businesses gain visibility? Which is what I'm doing today. So imagine I were to be doing movie, doing film, doing skit, doing all those other stuff because I own a business that runs media. I'll be confused. The same thing is applicable to you. Since I started doing I moved from just being a media guy or a photographer to becoming a brand artist, an expert in my niche, that I'm the artist that focus on brands. So I merge the two words together. This is my goal. How can I help individuals build their personal brand? And also, how can I help businesses to stand out as a brand online? What is your own story? What can you make out of it? How can you pick an aspect of law, of sales, of medicine, anything that's very meaningful to you that you love and you can do it in a long time? Start. Remember, you don't need to know everything when you're starting, but you can always make improvement by the next point I'm going to share with you. So the next thing you need to do is consistent learning. This is very important. Most professionals feel like once I have gotten this job, my dream job, I don't need to read it again. I don't need to upgrade my skills. At least promotion will come with time. What if I tell you that you can control your promotion? You can become so good that a company will definitely have to promote you every quarter or every 6 months. You're wondering if it's possible. It is very possible. And I really want you to be one of those people whose promotion is not determined by the system, but rather by their growth. Let me share statistics with you. According to LinkedIn Learning, 94% of employees say they would stay longer at a company if it invested in their career development, showing how crucial continuous learning is for both retention and professional growth. That's LinkedIn Learning 2022. So what if you don't wait for them to invest in you? Because I have to tweak it. What if they don't need to invest in you for you to become this expert? What if you invest in yourself? If a company investment in you will keep you, what if the investment is done by you and then you can decide where to work? And that will mean a lot to you, your career, and your future. If you want to transit to an expert, remember the first one, pick a specific niche. Then constant learning because of the need for growth in every industry. The next thing you need to do is build thought leadership. Thought leadership is something people misunderstand all the time. They feel if you're talking on the camera, writing a blog, creating a podcast, that you're wasting your time, especially when you're in a medical field where things look so constrained, things are very tight. See, it's not true. Making out time to write a piece of blog or an article or publishing your book, it's something that will give you exponential progress in your career. Don't always look at things from the time spent. Look at it as time well invested. The only thing you need to do in your business or your career is not to keep working every day to earn paycheck, but rather it is working to make impact, make progress, and become the best version of your life. Let me share you a story of a lady called Sarah. So Sarah used to be a salesperson and a marketing manager in a company. And she realized that she has a lot of stories in her head. She has experienced something. And over time, when they hire a new salesperson or a marketer, they will keep explaining things to them. Sarah decided to start a blog. And she started journaling everything she's experiencing in her work every single day. She kept doing this in the space of 12 months. Now, your own may not be 12 months, it may be longer, it may be shorter. But in the space of 12 months, Sarah started getting attention. Can you talk on this webinar? Can you come and talk to us? Can you talk to my team virtually and in person? From there, Sarah started getting more attention in the industry. And today, she is doing well because the company promoted her to another level. And then other people are calling her every weekend to come and talk to them. She's not just earning extra money, but she's living a more fulfilled life. And she's creating more room to explore more in the future. The next point I want to share is very crucial. Building an online presence. If you're a professional that wants to become an expert, you can't keep telling this story that you don't like camera, you don't like talking in front of camera, but you make video calls. If you make video calls, I tell people, you can create content with your phone. You can go in front of the camera, teach what you know. The reason people don't go online is that they feel like, I'm just 2 years in the business, I'm 3 years, I'm 5 years, I have my seniors who are not talking. So if somebody ahead of you is not talking, why won't you talk? To someone, they may say, oh, because my colleagues are not talking, I shouldn't talk. It's not true. They can fire you and leave your colleague, or they can fire your colleague and leave you. Things can happen. Your colleague can decide to transit into another profession all of a sudden, and you feel disappointed. So don't step down or don't keep yourself stagnated because of other people around you. Keep making progress. Trying new things is one of the things that most professionals will never do because they like safety, they like comfort. But if you're going to become an expert, you must learn to experiment, you must learn to try new things, even though you may be wrong, even though people may call you out. But no matter who is calling you out, the moment people start calling you out, it is an advantage, not a disadvantage. Even if you make mistake in your content, you may not be able to speak well, you may not understand how things work. I have a community called the Brand Talkers, and I want to invite you. Join me on LinkedIn or on Facebook, Brand Talkers, as is written on the screen, because that platform, we are helping professionals and individuals build their personal brand, and that's something you need. And that's something you need to scale up. Let's talk about speaking engagement. There are a lot of opportunities for professionals to talk, but because they hold themselves back from even creating content, they can't get speaking engagement. Speaking engagement is one way to prove that you're a leader and that you know what you're doing. I would advise you, no matter how you feel, start taking courses on public speaking and start rehearsing it. For most of us, talking in front of the camera may not be an issue, but it's putting together your thoughts. Now, journaling will help you put together your thoughts, but also practicing, going in front of the people, trying to do something beyond your capacity will help you expand more. The human brain is like a rubber. You can stretch it, and by the time it's coming back, it won't come back the same size. Trying new things around public speaking, getting engagement will help you transition to becoming an expert. Another thing that public speaking will do for you is to help you elevate your status. You can't just be a normal person again. The moment you keep getting those engagements, keep sharing them, when you finish, somebody's filming you, you get the content, you post it online, it will help you elevate your status. People will respect you. You don't want people to just think of you. You want people to think of you in a respective way and recommend you for higher opportunities. The moment you start doing speaking engagement, networking becomes seamless. People will start coming to you. You will see yourself talking to people that are better than you in your field, people that are older in the space. These are things that will help you, because networking is one way that will keep bringing opportunities to you. The moment you keep networking, get to know new persons, and get to solve problems for people, they will announce you in rooms that you may not even be able to enter. Please, don't skip any of these steps. They are things that will help you transition. But if you're not interested in transitioning, you can leave this video at this point, because the next point, which is the last point, will blow your mind. Publishing research or a book. This is another wonderful way to transition from being just a nobody to somebody. I will share a story with you. How many of us know Tim Ferriss? Tim Ferriss wasn't this popular a couple of years back, but he decided to crown himself. He left his tech work, and then the business he was doing was still going on, the nutrition business, but he started publishing. He wrote his first book, The 4-Hour Work Week. That book was a massive blow. People were rushing for the book. The book was so valuable that even till date, I think it has a second version, and people are still reading and recommending him. And today he has a podcast. He creates content and he's going viral, and people respect him as a thought leader in the business world. What about you? Can you think of a book to write today with your experience? If you don't know what to write, I will give you free consultation, free 1 hour of my time to help you package your knowledge, start your book project. You may not have all the time to write it. We have AI tools that can help you. I also have individuals. Maybe you want a human touch in your own work. You don't want AI. There are individuals who can help you. All you need to do is to click a link below this video and book a free consultation. I want to help you as a person to navigate from just being a professional to an expert. One benefit you have in mind: professionals don't have hope in their work, but experts can always change their industry or their business anytime, any day. So Brand Talk is designed to help you to become an expert and not just a professional. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep getting some of these tips that will help you level up your skills. Thank you for watching this video to this point. If you have any question about expert and professional, drop a comment below and I will answer you. And if you're interested in joining the Brand Talkers, people who are talking about what they're doing, moving from professional to expert, I am here for you. My community is Brand Talkers. We're on LinkedIn and on Facebook. I have a community of people of like mind and passion who will help you navigate your way. In this channel, this is the only thing we do, helping professionals to move into expert. I'm on a mission to build 1 million personal brand by 2030. I want you to help me to participate in that. The only thing you need to do is click and watch some other videos on this channel that will help you level up your game. Thank you for sticking around. I love you. Mr. Nis,